Hey guys, it's Jen. Alright, we're going to do some stamping and some scanning. Okay, so I have this gigantic stamp here. This is from Unity. But I don't know if you can see this, so let me try to bring it in here for you. Oh, let's take a look here. Okay, you see there's some parts down here that are not connected. And even up here in his mane and in her hair, it is not a solid connected line. And with our ScanNCut, I know it says just scan it in there and it'll cut around it. Well, you have to think of things this way. If I hand you a pair of scissors and I tell you I want you to cut this out, but you have to stay on the line, how are you going to do that? You cannot expect a machine to kind of read our mind or read this and understand what it is. The machine reads lines, and once you kind of start to understand that and understand what it sees and how it works, then you'll be able to look at a stamp and say, okay, this is where I have to fix it, or this is where it needs a little bit of help. Okay, so I do have my acetate here, transparency stuff, whatever y'all want to call it. If you can, get some of this. It's wonderful at saving your stamps. If you do not want to draw on your stamped image and you want it to cut just like that, look like that, okay? Using this acetate will really help you. And I'll show you how. I do already have a video, but I'm trying to update all of my old videos. So let's get going. Alright, so I have it stamped out here. And then I also have the word stamped down there. So let's put it on my mat. Now let's start it over here. And I do trim mine up. Don't trim really close because I don't trim really close because if I want to give it a border, because I like to stack mine. You do it however you want. So make sure it's sealed down. Again, I I got a new baby wipe container because my other one would look terrible. These are wipes. They are alcohol free, hypoallergenic, and it must say alcohol free on them. Okay, and it does say that right there. The other ones I got to looking this weekend at the store when we went, and the ones that don't say alcohol free aren't alcohol free. So if it does not say that on there, don't buy them. Okay, so let's turn the little machine on here. Let's see, make sure that is, nope. See? It's about ready to get all into it, and it's not even on there. Okay, let's focus it a little bit better. There we go. Alrighty. Again, I hold my mat up like this. I don't ever stick my hand in here. You get your finger sucked in there, I'm sure you're going to know it, and I'm sure it's not going to feel very good. But I just hold it up here and give it a constant inward pressure. I'm not shoving it in. I'm just letting gravity do it. And then you don't have a mat misfeed and you don't have to worry about it getting caught in the machine. Okay, so let's go to scan. And we're going to go through and try these and see which one does better. You all know that my favorite is the ScanNCut Data because it gives us the options on what to choose. Alright, so let's try the direct cut. Let's do the black and white. Let me find one of my million sticks that I have here. And I do use the extension cord, okay, on my machine, because I do not want to damage the USB port that is on my machine. Okay, so let's click OK. Ooh. Let's just slide this up here. Let's do the preview and see what that looks like. And we're just going to kind of mess around with this for a little bit because I want you guys to see what all does what. Alright. Now, this is the seam allowance thing. You can add it inside or outside. Let's check this. Let's do the ignore object size. Let's take it down. Nope, that doesn't do a daggone thing. Take it up. No. No. I'm just not a huge fan of this. Oops. Let's come back. Oh, I always want to do that one. Let's try changing it to color. I know it's black and white, but sometimes when you change it to color, it'll pick up a little bit more. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does not make a daggone bit of difference what you do. Let's frame the image. Okay. And let's see how well this one does. This is why I've never really been a big fan of the direct cut. It just seems to never give me what I need. So that's better. So your the color, so you've seen what it was in black and white. Even though this is black and white, the color picked it up a lot better. Okay. So let's click OK. Let's come in here. So look, that did a really, really good job. But if I'm thinking I want it cut around there, why isn't it doing that? Well, look at my image. That the machine is cutting exactly what this image is showing. I can't fault the machine. Okay, let me focus you in up here if I can move this silly old thing. This is what the machine gives me. That is exactly what that is. And a lot of people get upset when that's what the result is. You can't. This is what the machine sees because that's what's there. So, yay for the direct cut. It captured exactly what I needed. It looks, let me take a look. Let's look at the wording. The wording a lot of times does not come out, which is fine because to capture a scan and to cut the wording out, hey, that is super small. I mean, look at how tiny that wording is. See if I can get it down here without breaking my camera in 10,000 pieces. That is how small that is. So, that is actually a really good job. But you wouldn't really want that cut out anyhow. You'd want something cut around it. So you could pick a shape, place the shape and do a background scan. Or we'll do the acetate thing. Okay, so let me get this fixed. I am not a big fan of this thing. Okay. Alright, so let's come back out here. So we know that that one works. And then when you do the scan to cut data, let's see what happens. So the direct cut, and I will tell you this, since the updates have happened, that's actually gotten quite a bit better. But when I do the acetate, a lot of times you'll want to just save this to the machine, because we're going to put the acetate over it and we're going to actually draw where we want that line to cut. This will go in as a background scan, and then we'll set that cut file right on top of it. But it'll involve some scanning. It's actually really, really cool. And because our ScanNCut is the only machine that does scan, this blows it out of the water. Okay, so pretty much the same thing. So we'll save this to the stick. Okay. Alright. And we'll see what that one does as compared to what the acetate does. So we'll try to bring them both up. Alright. So I shall return. Okay, so I have my acetate right here. It's not attached. Turn on my light. Shadow, stop. And I'm going to take a piece of tape. Now I know on the group I tell you not to use tape. Well, I'm not going to be cutting. I'm just going to lay this up here. I have not ejected my mat. I'm going to lay this right up inside, oops, right up inside my grid lines, okay? And I'm going to press it down right here. But I'm going to add this piece of tape right up along the top, okay? Because I don't want it to move as it scans. I'm not adding it along these rollers. What happens, and why I say please don't use tape, no painter's tape, no anything like that, is because when that tape gets caught around those rollers, you are in trouble, okay? If you cannot get it out and it damages those rollers, you've pretty much damaged your machine, okay? Lots of people have said that Brother does not replace them. I don't know if that's true, but if that's the case, your little 2-cent piece of tape has just cost you a very expensive machine. Use the Zig glue. Use the Aleene's Tack It over and over. I don't even recommend using spray adhesives because of the same thing, the rollers. Keep everything away from those rollers. Okay. So now, this is still in the machine, okay? I have not ejected it, so all of my scans are still going to be in the same place. Oops, they were. Everything's falling down. I said my house is like a scan and cut truck wrecked. Okay, so let me show you what I use, let me find them, to trace, okay? Or to make my little things. This is a paint marker. Zoom in here for you. Okay, so here's my little paint marker. If I want to use that, it's a USA Art Supply one. It's the fine tip. But I really like these, the little micro lines, okay? These I got real cheap because I don't like spending money. You guys know that. Let me show you the whole set. Hang on. So here's the paint markers. You can get these at Amazon. Okay, these are the fine tip. US Art Supply. And they're paint because if you want it to be a permanent thing, you can use those. You just got to let the paint dry. And then these are the micro lines. They work in the dog hair. They work in the universal pen holder too. But they give you quite a variety of colors. And then of course, let me see if I can, okay, they're the 0.3 millimeters, and then the black gives you a whole bunch of other widths, thicknesses of the tips, okay? But these are like, what are they though? Can't remember. I have the expensive ones of these two, but I don't like to use them in the machine. I use them for a lot of the handwriting stuff. Okay, so when I do it on things like this, I'll use the cheaper ones. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of draw where I want the machine to cut around this. Alright, and it kind of gives me a firm surface. But, so let's go here. And this is all just freehand, okay? Oops, if you don't like it, take your finger in and just wipe it off. But this sticks well enough that it's not going to wipe off in the machine because there's nothing there to touch it. And you're just going to go around this. And remember, this is not part of my stamp. So that is still clean and clear. This ugly black line is just something I'm drawing so that the machine can follow it. So it can be kind of ugly, not straight. it's okay because you can wipe it off. Just be careful when you go back this way that you're not removing that line with your hand. So if you want to start on this side, that's fine. Start wherever you want to. I'm trying to go fast because silence and sitting through long boring pieces kills me. So I hate having to have you guys do it. Okay. Maybe I don't like that spot very much. Okay, so that looks decent, right? So now let's go here. If I don't want to use a shape, and I want kind of a wiggly, kind of just a line like this. I don't like that. This is what I will do. It's pretty much your choice, whatever you want to do. Okay? So now let's run that puppy through there. Do we still? Oh, see. That's what I did there. Sorry. I'm trying to get used to this new camera setup. So I apologize. Okay. Let's go and try to capture a new scan. And with that tape being there, that's what's holding it down, plus also this. So that's why, too, I also like cutting so that I have some adhesive on the mat that helps hold that acetate there. Okay, so now let's frame in the image, and hopefully it picked up that line. Sprocket, stop. Sprocket, stop. Stop. Yep, perfect. Let's take you on up there so you can see it. Okay. It went around, but it looks like maybe down by here it missed a little bit. We'll try to adjust the colors, okay? But we're going to try to tweak it so that it brings in exactly where that line is. And sometimes when you're working with the scans, that's what you have to do, is try to work with the settings to get the optimal scan results. Sometimes it may mean scanning it a couple times, okay? Ooh, no, that is not right. Okay. And when you'll see, when I make changes, I make them wide. I don't do just a couple numbers. I'll do really big numbers. A little better. Didn't even, come on. Oh, that helped with some of the objects. Okay, well, oops. Let's back out. Now let's go try the direct cut. And then we'll also try, we'll also try it in grayscale and see what that gives us. We know that the bottom one, the bottom with the phrase, that one comes out perfectly. Okay, let's try this one. Shadow, come here, lay down. Oh, beautiful. So this is the case where sorry, you guys can't see it. This direct cut worked absolutely perfectly. Okay, so that is one that we will definitely use, is this one. My old trusty dusty failed me for about the first time ever. Okay. Let's position this back to where it was and hopefully it doesn't fall and kill me. So let's do the ignore object size. There we go. Got rid of that, whatever that was. I don't even know. So we'll click OK. 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 Processing. So now that is there. What I need to do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to remove this acetate, and now just my paper's there. And it's ready to cut. Okay? So now I'm going to hit cut. Check my blade depth. And remember, I check mine by just looking at the amount of blade sticking out. Start. Sorry, the camera just shut off. But if this was the first time of you using this cardstock, you'd want to do a test cut to make sure that your blade depth was set correctly. Okay, so now, perfect. Let's take a look at it. Unloading the mat, okay. Let's take a look here. Let me just slide that out of the way. Not off the table, but out of the way. Okay, so there we go. And here's the words. Perfect. And I like to give it that kind of raggedy edge looking. If you want yours nice and smooth, then go for a nice and smooth trace around it. Tweak it as you need to. But that right there is absolutely perfect in my eyes. That is how I want my stuff to come out. Okay? There you go. So that is how you use the acetate to gain the absolute perfect cut on things that you think that the ScanNCut should pick up naturally. But you can't. You have to understand it can only follow that solid line. So that's how you do it, guys. Alright? If you have any questions, come and find me over at ScanNCut Canvas and Scal Help on Facebook. Thanks, guys.